gang member.
This morning, jurors see brand new police body cam video in the police shooting death of Melissa Perez. We'll show you the moments an officer arrived at her door and what was said right before she was shot and killed.
This morning, we got a tough blow to some of San Antonio's most vulnerable. Hundreds set to lose their daily meals as funding runs dry. Why Meals on Wheels is being forced to cut back.
There's a lot of great ideas at Startup Week, and you don't even have to be an entrepreneur to get some cash. Coming up on GMSA, I'm going to tell you how your pitch can earn $1,000.
Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We're off and running here at 6 o'clock hour on this Wednesday. Thank you for tagging along here.
We're going to get to the roadway soon, but first and foremost, let's get to meteorologist Sarah Spivey with the big F for the failing fall temperatures.
Yeah, fall fail.
Thank you. That's exactly what.
Temperatures are only in the 60s, upper 60s right now. It's near 70 degrees, and we're going to be near 90 once again today. Another repeat day of yesterday. So let's go ahead and get you out the door. Here's a look at temperatures right near 70 in San Antonio, warmer than how we started the last few mornings. Good morning, New Braunfels at 64, 61 in Kerrville, 75 out in Del Rio. Here's the thing. This forecast should look very similar to you. This morning we're in the 60s, we're cool. Right around midday, 80s and warm. And then in the afternoon, 90 for the high as you're picking up the kids. But the humidity will be low, so pleasantly low humidity later on today, even if it is hot. The one difference today is that today is an ozone action day. Now, this means that for a couple of hours in the afternoon, ozone levels could be elevated, meaning pollution could be elevated. It's a possibility, it's not a guarantee. And for most of us, we'll not notice any big difference at all. However, with those with respiratory illness, I would urge you to use caution this afternoon. We'll have a look at the air quality. Right now, the air quality is just fine. All right, in the forecast, pleasant mornings and unseasonably warm afternoons. Humidity will not be bad. We'll have a dry heat. And unfortunately, that fall fail continues. No cold air anytime soon. And we'll talk about the reason why it's been so warm coming up in just a bit.
All right, guys, let's give you a look at your traffic authority on this Wednesday morning. Going to start with our inbound drive times. Green on the screen, so no major issues right now for all of our folks coming in from Burnett, 24 minutes. If you're coming in from New Braunfels, 27 minutes. But we do have an incident on the northeast side of town that we do want to kind of focus on here in just a little bit here. Let's take a look. This is going to be 35 at Thousand Oaks. You see up to the distance there, we have some flashing lights, some blinking lights there. Looks like someone has their hazards on. This is being reported as a stalled vehicle in the northbound lanes of 35 right here at Thousand Oaks. But traffic for the most part still moving along. Again, northbound 35, no major issues at the moment. Also reports of a stalled vehicle 281 south right here at 410. This is going to be over by the San Antonio International Airport. So if you are headed out to maybe grab a flight or take a flight or maybe pick someone up from the airport, you might run into some of these delays over by the airport, but nothing major right now. Let's check in with Alex Gomez because he was making his way out to the west side of town over by 151 where we had a lot of construction. Alex, what's the latest?
RJ, good morning and happy hump day. Well, a lot of the city looks great right now. Construction wrapped up on the northeast side. Even construction is finished over here on the west side. This is 151 right near Hunt Lane, but 151 is pretty much free and clear from Hunt Lane all the way up to Wiseman, RJ.
Okay, thank you very much for that update, Alex. Coming up on our next traffic hit, we will be talking about traffic on the northwest side of town. Guys, back to you.
Coming up on 6:03 here, testimony continues later this morning in the trial of 3 former San Antonio police officers who shot and killed a woman in her apartment. Yesterday, jurors saw body camera video showing what happened when another officer got to the scene. The video came from Officer Robert Ramos's body cam. He was one of the first officers who arrived at that apartment complex. The footage shows Ramos repeatedly knocking on Melissa Perez's door, trying to get her to come out. And then he had this interaction with Perez.
Are you even Melissa? Are you a gang member? You look like a gang member.
Now, a reminder, Officer Ramos is not on trial and he did not shoot Perez. But when another officer was on the stand yesterday, the prosecution asked him about Ramos's interaction with Perez.
The actions that we're seeing from Officer Ramos, would you say that's in line of de-escalating the situation?
No, sir.
So the question at the center of the trial is whether the three officers on trial violated protocol. Eleazar Alejandro, Alfred Flores, and Nathaniel Villalobos all face life in prison if they're convicted. The testimony will continue later this morning, and you can watch it all on the KSAT streaming platforms.
All right, so starting November 3rd, we got hundreds of people who rely on a nonprofit for food will lose that service. It comes down to money. Meals on Wheels San Antonio delivers free meals to the elderly, disabled, and people who are too sick to prepare their own food. The nonprofit gets a chunk of its funding from the Alamo Area Council of Governments, and some of that, unfortunately, has dried up. So Meals on Wheels San Antonio has had to make a very tough decision. They're focusing on the people who need its services the most, and the nonprofit CEO says, in part, quote, "This is one of the most difficult decisions we've ever had to make, and we know how much these meals and visits mean to our clients. They provide nourishment, companionship, and safety." Meals on Wheels San Antonio says that if they get more funding, they could reverse that decision.
Looking ahead to Monday the 20th, that is when early voting for the upcoming election will start. The important dates are about to be on your screen. This time, Bexar County voters will decide on two propositions, both related to the San Antonio Spurs' potential relocation to a downtown arena. And we have everything you need to know about this year's election. Just go online to ksat.com/vote. Now, Proposition B asks voters to approve two things: increase Bexar County's 1.7% tax on hotel stays up to 2%, and then use that money to pay for part of a new Spurs arena. Prop B is also asking voters to use the county's existing 5% tax on car rentals to pay for the arena as well. Those two sources would add up to roughly $311 million in county funding for the arena. Prop B is not an increase in sales tax or property taxes. Prop A aims to take care of the Freeman Coliseum and the Frost Bank Center should the Spurs leave for downtown. Prop A asks voters to use those same tax sources, the increased hotel tax and car rental tax, to allow the San Antonio Rodeo to become the year-round tenant of those locations and make upgrades. If voters say yes, $198 million in county money would go toward that. Now, it's important to note, venue taxes cannot be used on core services like streets, sidewalks, or public safety. So last night at 6:30, we broke down everything you need to know about the proposal for that new Spurs arena downtown. And there's been a lot of debate and some confusion over the project. The Spurs arena and Project Marvel are not the same thing. You can find the full explanation online right now at ksat.com.
All right, let's get to our morning headlines. And this right here, an important day for many federal workers caught up in the government shutdown because it's payday for the U.S. service members. President Donald Trump says that they are getting the checks due to reallocation funds. The White House says that the money is from the Pentagon's research and development budget. Meanwhile, in Congress, a standalone measure to pay troops is getting growing bipartisan support. But so far, it's been unsuccessful. A Senate bill to open the government failed again last night as millions of federal employees go unpaid. So are furloughed and other federal workers deemed essential. You can continue to work without a paycheck. If military families in Bexar County need extra help, they can get it through the Help to Vets Financial Assistance Program. More than 40 people have applied to grant-funded programs over the last week. It offers monetary help to keep military service members from falling behind in their mortgage and rent payments. Now, people can also use this money for utilities, vehicle repairs, and food. To be eligible, active duty members, veterans, and their dependents must live in Bexar County, and those who live outside Bexar County must be assigned to Joint Base San Antonio. We got all that information on our website at ksat.com. You can find out more about the Help to Vets Financial Assistance Program, but you could also call that number you see on your screen, which is 210-435-7838.
All right, new tariffs are now in effect, and that could increase the cost of home building and renovation projects. You can see some of the updates here. So according to a UBS report, tariffs are expected to add about $720 per home. And the new 25% tax on kitchen cabinets, vanities, and upholstered furniture could add an additional $280. That's according to the same report. So that adds up to a little more than $1,000 in new tariff costs if you're wanting to build or renovate a house. That's on top of the $8,000 tariff that the hike that home builders have already seen this year.
Everybody is going to be slowly raising their price, maybe like once every 3 months or once every 6 months, but everybody is going to be raising their price, that's for sure. And eventually it will pass to the customers, pass to the end users.
So the president has said that the purpose of the tariffs is to boost American manufacturing. All right, meanwhile, this morning, Homeland Security is now saying that Mexican drug cartels have offered a bounty for hits against ICE and U.S. Custom and Border Protection officers. The agency is accusing the cartels of offering thousands of dollars for intelligence gathering, kidnapping, or non-lethal assaults on standard ICE or CBP officers, and for the assassination of high-ranking officials. Meanwhile, more confrontations in Chicago between residents and federal officers over immigration enforcement. The confrontation is the latest that highlights the growing security risk for federal officers.
Well, if you thought this October is hot, you're not imagining things. In fact, we could have the hottest October on record for San Antonio. I'll have those details coming up.
If you've ever had an idea for a startup business, I'm going to tell you how you can get $1,000, no numbers needed, just some social media help.
Meeting other parents who are going through the same things that I'm going through, it helped me to heal.
Coming up, we got a Westside nonprofit giving struggling families a second chance. How the Buckner Family Hope Center helping single parents break cycles of poverty, and the one woman who says it changed everything for her.
And a new twist in the case of the stabbing death of a 27-year-old teacher. That's coming up after the break. We're back, 6:13. San Antonio Startup Week is happening right now, giving entrepreneurs a chance to earn some real cash for their ideas.
And throughout the weeks, there's been going about $160,000 given away, and you at home have the chance to be a part of it.
And Devin Karp is literally Mr. Startup Week, and he's joining us right now with how you could get a quick $1,000 with no experience necessary. Devin.
Yeah, good morning. When you think of a startup pitch, you might imagine a fancy slideshow with revenue projections, numbers, and a business plan, but turns out you don't need all of that. In fact, you don't even need a fancy camera. You just need to be able to talk to a cell phone super casually on social media, because all you need is a good idea to get $1,000. Here's how it works with San Antonio Startup Week. Their social media team is going to be walking around downtown San Antonio with a sign saying pitch it to win it and a microphone. You'll have 60 seconds to share your idea. They'll then post them on social media to see which one does the best. Now, they say the goal of this is to really help people understand that, hey, anyone can create a startup. And while down the line you can work on business projections and really expanding that idea out, every startup has to start with a good idea. How was it?
It was fun. I used to be a teacher, so I am comfortable speaking, but having to get my idea into the minds of others is a little bit more difficult.
What would you do with the $1,000?
Probably be able to market a little bit more.
Now, here's how it's going to work. They're going to be posting those ideas every day on social media, and those finalists are going to be selected based on the engagement you get. That's the likes, shares, comments, retweets, all of that on their TikTok and Instagram pages. Now, if you want to be a part of this, all you have to do is look out for their social media. They're going to be sharing where they're located in San Antonio as part of that pitch. And here, I'm going to pitch something to you guys. If you want a good place to watch weather, traffic, and stay updated on your morning news, I actually don't need to pitch it, guys, because it already exists. That's called KSAT. Back to you guys, Devin Karp.
Well, all right, Devin, thank you so much. Okay, so we did show you the Buckner Family Hope Center's ribbon cutting on the west side. It's a nonprofit helping strengthen families, especially single parents who are just trying to figure life out. Well, the organization learned that 16% of families in San Antonio earn less than federal poverty level, 46% unable to make ends meet. And there were more than 14,000 incidents of family violence reported in 2020. I wanted to see real-time experience of just how life-changing this organization has been. And one woman told me that she wouldn't know where her life would be without them.
He passed away from cancer 6 years ago, and it was really tough. And then having to learn at 41 years old, okay, Kat, you've got to go out into the real world now and go start your life.
Kathy Cisneros has been a widow for years, learning how to navigate life as a single mother.
Many, many nights of crying, feeling alone.
Moving from Wimberley to the Alamo City changed her life because she got involved with Buckner San Antonio.
I had Olivia, and I wanted her to engage with other kids and other families. I wanted to be out doing things too because it didn't cost any money. Who has some money to be going, here, there, and everywhere?
The faith-based nonprofit provided many resources, including family coaching, financial classes, and therapy to help with years of grief. She says it has given her peace and healing, knowing she's not alone.
They teach you in a way to where you are able to reflect on yourself. And I think that's a really beautiful way of looking at yourself, learning how to love yourself as a person, as a mother, to be strong.
With the opening of Buckner Family Hope Center, Cisneros feels that she can be even more of an advocate for the organization, especially to those in her shoes.
If I could give a mom advice, I would tell her that. Don't give up. It's okay that you're single. It's okay that you feel like you're by yourself, but there's help out there. You just have to want it.
I love Kat. And of course, if you are a single parent, if you need some community or some kind of life education, especially dealing with finances, you can visit this article at KSAT.com. Just search Buckner San Antonio, and there should be a link that goes directly to their website.
All right, always some good stuff going on.
And right now, get ready for more downtown construction happening on I-35 at Martin Street. Those construction barrels are still out there right now, blocking multiple right lanes in both directions of I-35. Now, right now, traffic volume is still kind of low, not that busy, but yesterday we saw it get jam-packed out there. RJ, how's the rest of the city looking like?
All right, thank you very much for that, Alex. So Alex getting us covered for all of our folks downtown. Let's start right here on the northeast side where we're seeing a couple different things. Not only did we have a crash, 35 at northbound right here at Thousand Oaks. They switched the camera on me a little bit, but we saw earlier there was a tow truck there. So my guess is this should be clearing out within the next 15, 20 minutes or so. Right here is going to be a bigger delay. This is going to be our southbound traffic over by Topper Wine Road. Speeds there about 30 miles per hour, and we're looking at about a 10 to 15 minute delay. And a quick check on the northwest side of town. We do have an incident being reported 10 right here, Medical Drive, but traffic is moving along for the most part, according to our TransGuide traffic cameras. All right, Sarah, I know you've been saying it's been a fall fail, but traffic so far has been a solid B+, if I got to give
that's good.
Some type of grade.
That's good news there, RJ. Hey, I wanted to start with something interesting. If you've been thinking that this October has been hot, you're not imagining things. So take a look at the hottest Octobers on record on your screen right now. What you're seeing is the average temperature, not the high temperature. So the average temperature is a combination between the high and the morning low. Just last year, we had our hottest October on record. And so far this year, we've got numbers that are higher than that. So we're likely going to see our hottest October, 2 of our hottest Octobers back to back. You're not imagining things. Outside right now, though, as you're stepping out the door, it is in the 60s, 68 at the airport. It's only in the 50s, though, in the Hill Country. Comfortable and comfort. 65 in Seguin and 67 in Uvalde. Watching your forecast for the day, it is going to look very similar to the last few days. By noon, we'll be at 83 and mostly sunny. It's muggy out there right now, but we will have low humidity in the afternoon. That means that 90 will feel okay out there. And high pressure system maintains control. There is a low pressure system off to our west that's going to have the potential to bring us a cool front. But here's the thing, this is pulling in air that is very warm. So we're not going to see much of a temperature drop from this. Take a look at the ocean, the Pacific Ocean, where this low pressure system is going to be pulling that air. It's much warmer than average by some 2 to 8 degrees. So because of that, even when that front moves through on Saturday, look at our highs. We are going to be in the low 90s. The benefit from that front is going to be cooler mornings. On Sunday and Monday, we'll be near to 60 degrees.
All right, thank you so much. It is 6:21 right now. We got 68 degrees outside.
Grab next, a new twist in the mysterious death of teacher Ellen Greenberg after years of questions and court battles.
In this morning's GMA First Look, the new twist in the death in apartment 603 case.
We want to know the truth.
Ellen Greenberg, the 27-year-old teacher whose stabbing death sparked a years-long search for answers, the Philadelphia Medical Examiner's Office stated Greenberg would be capable of inflicting these injuries herself, noting that there was no sign of a struggle or an intruder and no defensive wounds. And this morning, her parents are speaking out to ABC News.
It's safe to say you don't accept the ruling of suicide.
No. Just from a very clinical view, nothing leans towards suicide.
And we'll have much more coming up at 7 a.m. Plus, you can stream Death in Apartment 603, What Happened to Ellen Greenberg, right now on Hulu and Hulu on Disney+. With your GMA First Look, I'm Juju Chang, ABC News, New York.
Seeing delays on 90 East on the far west side of town. Also, we do want to let you know about some slow going on the northeast side. That's going to be over by Thousand Oaks and Topper Wine. We're going to talk about our inbound drive times coming up in just a bit. Also coming up at 6:30.
A big breakfast is happening later this morning, but not a normal one like this one. Bexar County Judge Peter Sakai, along with a couple heavy hitters involved in the Spurs and the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo, will be discussing the future of business and community growth in Bexar County, two big categories that directly impact you.
This morning, great news for service members in Military City, USA. Why the paychecks are still rolling out despite the government shutdown, and some advice if veterans need a little extra spending money.
This morning, we are taking a look at how you can protect your inflatables. We're going to give you some tips.
We're wrapping up Hispanic Heritage Month with a fun story about Mama Peño. She is the mascot for our Flying Chanclas de San Antonio. I'm going to tell you what she represents for Hispanic culture. We're also going to check out some of her chancla throwing skills.
There's a lot of great ideas at Startup Week, and you don't even have to be an entrepreneur to get some cash. Coming up on GMSA, I'm going to tell you how your pitch can earn $1,000.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Thank you. Whoa, goodness.
Chocolate throwing skills. We got a
already.
lot of stuff getting to cover today on this wonderful GMSA on Hump Day.
We're going to try to get it in here in the next 30 minutes, and we'll kick things off with Sarah Spivey, who is just searching far and wide to find some fall temperatures.
I am, and so far it's been a fruitless search. We are going to continue to be hot today. Very similar weather to the last couple of days, but there are some subtle changes to talk about. Outside right now, as you're stepping out the door, you'll notice the mugginess around San Antonio. But don't worry, it's not going to be humid for much longer. It's generally in the mid to upper 60s with some folks enjoying the 50s like up in the hill country. Bernie, you're at 57. Good morning, Kerrville. It's 61 degrees. All right, dropping off the kids within the next hour or so. Temperatures should fall a couple more degrees to 65. As I mentioned, it is muggy out there, but by the time you pick them up in the afternoon, low humidity. That 90 is not going to feel that bad, I promise, especially if you can find some shade. Okay, it'll be 91 in New Braunfels, 92 in Del Rio, 93 in Cotulla. Pleasanton, you'll be at 91 degrees and 88 in Kerrville. And my friends, it has been 38 days since we have seen rain in San Antonio. We're not expecting much over the next 7 days, but what about beyond that? I'll have those details coming up for you in just a bit. Let's go ahead and take a look out there with traffic.
All right, thank you very much for that, Sarah. Taking a look at your traffic authority at 6:31. If you're about to step outside, our inbound drive times, our biggest delay is going to be for our folks on the far west side. That's going to be Castroville, 90 eastbound, headed out to 1604. So if you're headed out parts of Medina Valley, you want to be careful with that delay. Everything else across the city is looking pretty good, including 25 minutes if you're coming in from the far northwest side. And Bernie, let's take you out to the northeast side of town. This is going to be a slowdown taking place. This is going to be over by Live Oak, 35 south at Topper Wine. I just checked. We're looking at about 30 miles per hour as far as some of our speed limits. I just saw the work convoy make its way down on that one camera there. So we're looking at about 15-20 minute delays, and we are clearing out that incident at 35 at the northbound traffic over by Thousand Oaks. And one more quick check at the northwest side of town. Traffic looking good after a stalled vehicle was reported right here, 10 at Huebner over in the medical center area. Be careful, you're about to step outside in that direction. And then 1604 starting to see a little bit of traffic over by Braun Road. All right, so Alex Gomez, he's going to be around the downtown area. We're going to check in with him in just a little bit to get you an update on all that construction there. Guys.
All right, thank you, RJ. This right here is an important day for many of our federal workers caught up in that government shutdown.
One of the biggest questions has been pay for U.S. military service members. And our Patty Santos is joining us to break down what people need to know about changes happening today. Patty.
Hey there, good morning. So it's payday for U.S. service members. President Donald Trump says they are getting checks due to a reallocation of funds. The White House says the money is from the Pentagon's research and development budget. Meanwhile, in Congress, a standalone measure to pay troops is getting growing bipartisan support, but so far it's been unsuccessful. At the same time, payday has come and gone for many federal workers. Some are furloughed and other federal workers deemed essential continue to work without pay. Yesterday's checks for air traffic controllers contain only what they earned before the government closed. If military families in Bexar County need extra help, they can get it through the Helps to Vets Financial Assistance Program. More than 40 people have applied to the grant-funded program over the last week. Now, this is what it offers: monetary help to keep military service members from falling behind on their mortgage and rent payments. People can also use the money for utilities, vehicle repair, and food. To be eligible, active duty members, veterans, and their dependents must live in Bexar County, and those who live outside Bexar County must be assigned to Joint Base San Antonio.
There's a standard cap of about $6,000 total per household. We've been averaging about $1,500 to $2,000 per family to date.
And for more information on the Help to Vets Financial Assistance Program, you can call the number right there on your screen, 210-435-7838. Guys?
All right. One other problem is that even before that shutdown, though, nonprofits that help people in need were themselves taking a hit, like the Care Zone at Dwight Middle School on the south side. The organization provides clothing, diapers, formula, and food to about 150,000 people every year. Now the CEO says that they're struggling. Not as many people have been donating.
We've seen a change in the past year, even with our larger donors who have not been able to give, or their budgets, or it's not included in their budget.
Now, if you want to donate food or money, you can find that information on our website at KSAT.com.
Well, this morning, a Northside ISD high school football team needs some help. That's after it lost more than a football game last week. Their locker room was broken into. It happened Friday at Holmes High School while the team was at Gustafson Stadium playing against Harlan. Police say about $3,400 in cash, jewelry, and bank cards were stolen. 14 students were victimized. Police do not know who did this, but they are checking surveillance video and speaking with the victims. If you have any information that could help, you're asked to call the Northside District at 210-397-7233. All right, 6:35 now. So the dredging of Lake Ingram is set to start next week, according to City Councilman Ray Howard. And we got some pictures from Mary Bradley showing a barge and a crane in the lake. Howard says that they will be looking for key items in the water. There was a big push by residents to drain the lake to remove debris and pollutants left by the July 4th flood.
This morning, we got a Texas State professor out of a job again. You may remember Thomas Alter's story. Texas State dismissed him, saying that he incited violence when he said that the working class should form a revolutionary socialist party during a virtual conference. Alter sued, and then a judge ordered Texas State to reinstate him. Fast forward 1 month. This week, Texas State said that it reviewed Alter's conduct and decided to terminate him.
Okay, we're talking about school vouchers now. Some new information on the state's education savings program, informally known as school vouchers. Private schools are able to opt in or opt out of the program. All Catholic schools within the Archdiocese of San Antonio will now be participating in the state's new education savings account program, which, again, many people call school vouchers. $10,000 to Texas students who want to go to private school or other non-public schools. So a statement from the Archdiocese yesterday said in part, quote, across the Archdiocese, schools are preparing to welcome many new families through the launch of this effort. These institutions are courageously meeting new challenges with confidence, eagerly planning for growth, end quote. The School Discovery Network is holding one of its School Discovery Days on Saturday. And you are welcome to attend. Representatives from 40 schools will be there to answer your questions. That includes public, charter, and private schools. It's at the San Antonio Zoo from 11 a.m. to 2. By the way, if you go, you can also get into the zoo for free. Head to the School Discovery Network website to register.
All right, let's get to some morning headlines. Taylor Swift living at the top of the Billboard Hot 100. The 12 songs on the Life of a Showgirl filled the top 12 spots on the chart, led by The Fate of Ophelia. It's the first album ever to place all of his songs in an uninterrupted string at the top of the chart. And here's something that you didn't see every day. Of course, this morning we're talking about a cool guy right here. Firefighter in North Carolina warning others after his dog accidentally sparked a house fire. So the cause was a lithium-ion battery. The dog apparently chewed the flames and it caught on video. You see it right there. Thankfully, the fire was put out within minutes, and the dog named Colton is doing just fine. And then happening later this morning, Bexar County Judge Peter Sakai set to take center stage at the State of the County Breakfast. The event, hosted by the Greater San Antonio Chamber, starts at 8 o'clock this morning at the Westin San Antonio North. After the judge's remarks, we got a panel will feature Spurs CEO R.C. Buford and San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo CEO Cody Davenport discussing the future of business and community growth in Bexar County.
All right, 6:38 now. San Antonio Startup Week is underway, giving entrepreneurs a chance to earn some real cash for their ideas.
And we're talking about real cash. Throughout the week, there's going to be $160,000 given away, and you at home have the chance to be a part of that.
Devin Karp is live this morning with how you could get a quick $1,000 with no experience necessary. Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning, guys. Okay, think about someone pitching a startup. You might be envisioning a fancy PowerPoint, some numbers, a business plan, revenue projections. Well, you don't need all that for this. In fact, you don't even need a fancy camera. You just need a smartphone right here, talking on social media with the social media team from San Antonio Startup Week, because all you need to win $1,000 is a good idea. So here's how it works. The San Antonio Startup social media team is going to be out and about on the streets in San Antonio downtown, talking to people and asking them, hey, what's your idea for a startup? Then you're going to have 60 seconds to pitch your idea into the microphone, and they're going to be posting those videos online to their social media accounts on Instagram and TikTok. The team behind it says it's a way to show that everyone can get into a startup if they want, and all those wonderful things like a business plan, revenue projections, and fancy PowerPoints can come later, but every startup has to start with a good idea. What do you think about the idea of like $1,000 to anyone who does something, more of like the everyman of Startup Week?
I think I would really appreciate $1,000, and so I'm sure that other people would really appreciate it too. I think hopefully if you can like seed people, a lot of people have ideas. A lot of people have great ideas, and if you can kind of seed those ideas for people, I think that's something that could be very cool.
So here's how it's going to work. They're going to be taking those videos and posting them every day on their Instagram and TikTok channels. They're going to be selecting finalists based off of engagement, which videos get the most likes, comments, shares. After that, they're going to take that pool of finalists and decide the winners who get the $1,000. It's some pretty cool stuff there. If you want to be a part of it, just pay attention to the San Antonio Startup Week social media channels. They're going to be posting where they're at downtown with an emphasis on being near geekdom and some of the other events happening for Startup Week. And I've got a pitch for you guys. If you want to get the most up-to-date weather, traffic, and morning news here, well, you just need to go to GMSA. We're already taking care of it for you. I'll send it back to you guys. Devin Karp, KSAT 12 News.
If you just got a notification on our weather app about an ozone action day, we've got an ozone action day today. I'll be back to tell you what that means.
And we're focusing on the northeast side right now, taking a look at congestion over by Topperwine Road, stretching all the way to parts of Live Oak. We're looking at about 30 miles per hour, 15-20 minute delays. When we come back after the break, I'm going to show you some of the traffic on the northwest side of town and downtown. GMSA will be right back.
Hey there, good morning. Well, it is inflatable season, whether it's Halloween, Thanksgiving, or Christmas. We're going to start seeing a lot of these cute inflatables all over people's yards. This one is pretty cheap, only $20, but some of them can get really expensive. So here's how to prevent them from being stolen. Decorating your yard for the holidays can be pretty, but it can also be pricey. $300. This one over here, $450. That's for this big guy, 12-foot man right there. So it's probably a good idea to take a few steps to protect that investment. Here's some basics. Every night before you go to bed, make sure that you deflate them, turn them off. Maybe set up a timer for them. If you can, set them up on top of the roof or really close to the house, away from the road. Consider buying longer stakes than the ones these inflatables come with. This we got at Home Depot. It's a little exaggerated, but come on, it's a big investment. For extra protection, consider using a cable bike lock to secure the inflatable to the stake. There of different prices online for motion sensor alarms and pull string alarms. Do your homework. See what fits your budget. A pack of AirTags can be bought online for less than $100. Get some, put them on your inflatables, and if they ever get stolen, you can tell police where to find them. So look, doing all these things won't guarantee that thieves and vandals won't try to mess with your inflatables, but it will make it harder for them.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Patty. Very interesting. Well, today is the last day for Hispanic Heritage Month, and we wanted to wrap up the month with a lighthearted story on a local mascot. You see her right there, who has won over the hearts of baseball fans and all the abuelitas out there. I met with the one and only Mama Peño, who is the official mascot for the Flying Chanclas de San Antonio. That is the alternate baseball team for our San Antonio Missions. Mama Peño debuted back in 2018 through a minor league baseball program that connects local cultures through unique team identities. Mama Peño represents the matriarch of many local families and personifies discipline and respect and, of course, love for the San Antonio cultura. That's why she carries around that chancla with her and an egg to give spiritual cleansings.
With our, big boiling pot of people, it helps us bring this culture to that and bring these kids, these younger kids, into seeing their culture as part of the game. She's got a nice little slider with that thing. She kind of slings it from the side, and she can hit you from about 20, 30 feet without a problem.
All right, coming up at 9 o'clock, GMSA at 9, I put Mama Peño's chancla throwing skills to the test at Wolf Stadium and also learn more about this very lovable mascot. Look at her right there. Okay, guys, we're going to switch gears a little bit here because we want to talk about gas prices and look at some averages across the state. AAA this morning reporting that here in San Antonio, we're looking at $2.64. Not bad at all. That is a 17-cent difference from just about a month or so ago. Texas right now, $2.65, and the national average right now is at $3.06. So let's talk about why we're seeing lower prices at the pump. The Energy Information Administration reports demand for gasoline has fallen to a 4-month low, and the third quarter of 2025 ended with higher gasoline inventories. We're also in the middle of the seasonal transition from summer grade to winter grade fuel. That means that drivers are likely to see even lower prices in the coming weeks. Okay, so let's show you some of those lower prices across our area. We're looking at the far west side, Culebra Road, $2.19. That's going to be cash right there at that Chevron gas station. The Costco, Potranco Road, $2.23, not bad. And Murphy Express on the northeast side over by Pat Booker Road, $2.24. So definitely this would be a good time to go fill up the gas tank if you've got some plans for the weekend. All right, so let's give you an update on what's going on here on the northwest side. We promised this. Quick update right here. We are seeing some congestion over by 1604 northbound traffic headed up to Bandera Road past Braun and New Gilbo. We're looking at about a 5 to 10 minute delay. Traffic is still moving along there. Culebra Road over by Telly, still seeing some pretty good backups in that one particular spot. Okay, how about the northeast side of town? Seeing a little bit of congestion. This is actually where we're going to find our very own Alex Gomez to give us the very latest on what is going on in that part of town. So let's go to Alex right now and drive cam.
Yeah, good morning, RJ. So I'm headed to a reported accident on the northeast side, 35 north at Topperwine, and I'm seeing traffic backed up to about O'Connor Road right now. So I'm going to get closer to the scene, but I can give you some more details coming up on GMSA Plus, RJ.
Okay, thank you very much, Alex. Also, a quick note here, 10 at the Y downtown, starting to see some pretty good backup for our drivers making their way on that part of the city. Okay, Sarah, how's it looking outside for all of our folks making their way out? School or morning commute, work commute?
Very similar to the last few days, RJ. There is one exception, though. Today is an ozone action day. So what does that mean? It means that the atmosphere is primed to kind of trap pollutions in the air. And so we do have the possibility for elevated ozone, not all day, but just for a couple of hours in the afternoon. For most folks, we will not see any major impacts. And this is still a big if. Ozone levels may remain perfectly normal. But if those ozone levels are elevated, those with respiratory issues in the afternoon should use caution. That is the best way for you to be prepared today, and try to carpool if you can. As we take a look at temperatures, it's 68 in San Antonio, 65 in New Braunfels. It's still 75 in Del Rio, so pretty warm in Del Rio. They've got some clouds acting like a blanket to keep in the warmth from yesterday. By 10 in San Antonio, it'll be 76. By noon, 83 and mostly sunny, and we're expecting a high temperature of 90 degrees. That should sound very familiar because this is the forecast that we have seen the last several days. Generally high temperatures right near 90, up in the hill country, upper 80s. Now, we've got that high pressure system pushing down on us, preventing preventing showers and storms from developing. Meanwhile, there is a low pressure system that is just strong enough to help to nudge that heat high out of the way, at least briefly. Unfortunately, though, because we do not have a lot of moisture, we are not going to see much rain chances from that low. Only a 10% chance for a stray shower Friday and Saturday. That is not going to cut it. We are in the middle of drought. Now, what about beyond the next 7 days, though? There is the potential for some rain. The Climate Prediction Center from October 23rd to October 29th, about a week and a half from today, does see something that could bring us some rain, and I see that in the data as well. But as for our forecast, the next 7 days, very similar day today. Mornings in the 60s, afternoons right near 90 degrees. Around this time of year, I look toward Canada to see our cold air, and coming up on GMSA Plus and on GMSA at 9, I'll have the latest on that cold Canadian air when we could see it here.
Very good.
All right. Speaking of coming up on GMSA Plus, we got airports across the country and San Antonio refusing to air a video from Homeland Security. What it's about and where in Texas you could see it if you're traveling.
I promise you I didn't just copy and paste this forecast from one day to the next, but it certainly feels like that. Mornings in the 60s. We're in the 60s right now. We'll be near 90 degrees this afternoon. As we take a look at the rest of the forecast, very similar day today. Mornings in the 60s, afternoons in the 90s. RJ, what's going on in the roads?
All right, things starting to get a little bit busy out there, Sarah. We do have an accident being reported 35 South right here, Walsham Road. You see the flashing lights. Traffic starting to back up over to Randolph Boulevard. Also seeing some delays closer to Topper Wine for all of our drivers that are coming south right now. And downtown area, obviously very busy, dealing with a lot of construction, a lot of delays. We're going to check in on this coming up on GMSA Plus in just a little bit. Guys, back to you.
All right, coming up, we're talking about lawmakers in nation's capital once again going home without a deal to fund the country. But we'll talk about what this means for federal employees now that 2 weeks into the government shutdown is taking place.
Okay, very good. A lot more to get to at the top of the hour. Download, if you haven't already done so, the free KSAT Plus app. You can watch GMSA Plus for the next couple of hours. RJ will join Japhanie here at the top of the next hour. Until then, have a great Wednesday.